Good evening. Welcome to this week's meeting of the Board of Selectmen. Today is the 21st of February. The record shows that 4 members are present. Mr. Steele cannot make it tonight, and Town Manager Michael Eunice is not available also. Pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge of allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, on the licenses and permits, we have nothing. Under announcements, Mr. Salvo, anything?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Bramwell?
I'm all set, thank you.
Mr. Flaherty? Anything?
All set, thanks.
Okay, thanks. Okay, under appointments, resignations, and retirements, Chief Fleicher here yet?
Right here.
We're going to make 2 appointments tonight for the fire department, and Chief Schleicher will, I'll turn it over to him. Chief?
Timing's everything.
Yeah.
So thank you for allowing a few minutes tonight to actually present to you one of our 2 new hires. One of them couldn't make it, and we're going to have her on the schedule to come back in 2 weeks to meet you, but we'd appreciate your appointing her tonight anyways with the other. Is Victoria here? Come on up. So Victoria interviewed very well. She's a local resident. She was number 1 on the list, and she gets rave reviews from her current position over in Rehoboth, and we're excited as heck to have you come on board. So, want to come up, say a few words, and tell us about yourself?
Yep. I'm very excited to start working in Norton. I've lived there pretty much my whole life, and I'm looking forward to giving back to the community.
Great. What's your background?
I've been an EMT for about 3 years, a paramedic for about 6 months. I've been working at Brewster and in the town of Rehoboth, and I've been pushing myself to get onto Norton. It's always been my end goal.
Great, great. Anyone have any
Nice, you don't always get to have the local flavor.
No, yeah.
Yep.
So it's,
Oh, yeah.
This time they're coming from Rehoboth back to Norton.
yeah.
Which is good. Anyone have any questions?
I don't.
Anything else? Well, we welcome you aboard.
Thank you.
Forward to, hopefully none of us will see you very soon. But
Yeah.
I think it's important that we recognize that we're getting some great young people involved, and it's wonderful to have the opportunity to have the next generation take over and start doing what we consider one of the best fire departments around. So, welcome aboard, and we wish you well. And obviously, we're here. If you need anything, we'll be glad to help you out.
Alrighty.
All right? Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
we'll put Kelsey Bizio, a Lakeville firefighter, is the other new hire, and we'll have her here at the
That would be great.
next meeting to meet her, but we're excited about that as well, so.
Okay.
But thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Salvo?
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I'd like to was addressed to the Board of Selectmen from Michael D. Eunice, Town Manager, dated February 19, 2019. Notice of appointment of a firefighter. I hereby notify the Board of Selectmen that in accordance with the provisions of Article 4, Section 2B of the Norton Charter, acting in my capacity as the appointing authority, I have appointed the following individual as a permanent full-time firefighter paramedic in the Norton Fire Department. Victoria Sigmund. Appointment was made on February 10, 2019, will be effected on March 6, 2019, unless the Board of Selectmen votes to accept or reject this appointment prior to said date. However, I respectfully request that this board accept this appointment be effected March 4, 2019.
We have a motion. We have a second.
So, second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And next, Mr. Salvo.
Chairman, to the Board of Selectmen, from Michael D. Eunice, Town Manager, dated February 19, 2019. Regarding notice of appointment of a firefighter, I hereby notify the Board of Selectmen that in accordance with the provisions of Article 4, Section 2B of the Norton Charter, acting in my capacity as appointing authority, I have appointed the following individual as a permanent full-time firefighter paramedic in the Norton Fire Department, Kelsey Bizio. This appointment was made on February 19, 2019, and will be effected March 6, 2019, unless the Board of Selectmen votes to accept or reject this appointment prior to said date. However, I specifically request this board to accept this appointment be effective March 11, 2019.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Motion second. Further discussion? Obviously, we'll have an opportunity to see Kelsey in a couple of weeks, so look forward to it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you. We have one more. Is Chief Clark here, by any chance? Anyone seen Chief Clark?
Chief?
We're moving right along tonight, you know?
Sorry, I was talking to the fire chief.
Yeah, well, yeah. So we have an appointment you want to make tonight.
Yes, so we're planning, doing some future planning. We expect 2 retirements in the in next fiscal year. This isn't a new position. It's going to replace a current full-time officer. It takes about 6 months from the start of the academy until you finish it. So doing this planning now, we'll have somebody ready shortly after, well, it'll be September. So Brad Rye, you met him last year. He's a special police officer with the town of Norton. He has a bachelor's degree from Nichols College. He was ranked very high when we went through the oral board interviews. He's been recommended to the police department. He's kind of the hometown boy. Everybody knows him. Very well respected. And I ask for your appointment tonight to be effective April 1st, which is the day one of the Plymouth Police Academy.
Very good, very good. Anyone have any questions? Again, we have two people who come from Norton tonight, which is always wonderful. We're able to bring people up from the community. Want to tell us a bit about yourself? I know you were here not too long ago.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank you guys first off, taking the time tonight for Chief and I. But yeah, it feels like just yesterday I was here. I'm certainly excited starting Plymouth, but I grew up here. Everyone else grew up here playing sports. I went to Nichols College, as Chief said, played a little football there, graduated with a bachelor's in criminal justice, and now obviously my goal is to get onto Norton. And here I am 8 months later and getting the opportunity to go full-time, so really excited and appreciate it.
Well, we have a great police department. We're honored to have people like yourself with your kind of background in education. That helps us. That helps a lot. It makes our department much better than it was before, because every time we bring on new people, it always makes it one step better, you know? And I think it's important that we continue to get some quality people, make sure this department, when us old guys get done here, and everybody else will be able to take over, so. No other questions at this point?
I don't.
Mr. Salvo, you want to read the notice?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This time it was addressed to the Board of Selectmen from Michael D. Units, Town Manager, date February 19, 2019, regarding the appointment of a full-time civil service police officer. I hereby notify the Board of Selectmen that in accordance with the provisions of Article 4, Section 2B of the Norton Charter, acting in my capacity as appointing authority, I have appointed the following individual for full-time civil service police officer, Bradford Rye. Said appointment was made on February 19th in accordance with the provisions of the Norton Charter will be effective March 6th, 2019, unless the Board of Selectmen votes to accept or reject this appointment prior to said date. However, I specifically request this board to accept this appointment with effective date of April 1st, 2019.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I do plan to come before you. It's very difficult to get somebody into a police academy. Brad was ready to go, so he's the first one up. There's one person on standby that I don't believe will get into the academy that I'll look to appoint sometime probably before July 1st. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Okay, next on the agenda. We have the introduction of Sharon Rice, Park and Recreation Coordinator. Sharon, I know you're out there somewhere, I saw you.
Meet the crowd.
Good evening.
Hello.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. So for those of you I haven't met, I am Sharon Rice, I'm the new Parks and Recreations Coordinator, and I am thrilled to be here and to join the crew here at the Town Hall. I'm a 20-plus year resident of the town, so I have some deep roots in the community, and I am very much looking forward to serving the town. I'm looking forward also to building on the momentum that my wonderful predecessor has generated and building the program and building on her success. I have a fantastic commission that I'm so pleased to be, so lucky to be working with. Really dedicated, awesome, smart people. So I'm really thrilled about that. They're going to be a fun group. And we have lots and lots of events coming your way. We've got a spring fling coming. It's going to be the social event of the year next month, the Norton Middle School. And, of course, Founder's Day is coming. We're going to have a wonderful event, wonderful, safe event. And really my focus for the summer anyway is going to be around the Everett Leonard Park and Pool. We need to raise some money to make the pool, first of all, self-sufficient, but also to, we need some repairs. We need a lot of repairs to the pavilion, so we're looking to generate some additional revenue through either advertising or I shouldn't say either advertising, it will be advertising, earmarking proceeds from different events publicly to go to the pool, and we're looking at fees, maybe raising them nominally to get some more money. And then lastly, we got a bunch of ideas floating around for new events that we haven't tried yet, like a family bingo night and cornhole tournaments and the Taste of Norton. So we have a lot of things percolating, and I hope you'll all join us at these different things as we...
You have an event coming up at Uno's, right?
Yes, we do have several fundraising events coming up with restaurants where they donate a portion of the proceeds from your check to the Founder's Day. So we have one this month at Uno's, one next month at Uno's, and we have a few coming at Home Plate and Chateau and hopefully Alberto's as well. So hopefully everybody likes to dine out, and I'll be sending out the little coupons that you turn in through the email. So.
And, we can put it up on the community board, too. Make sure we put it up on cable access, so.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, great idea. Thank you.
Channel 2.
Channel,
wanna have
I'm sorry,
it?
Peter?
Questions?
Peter Channel, absolutely. We'll do
Questions or
that.
comment?
I just have a comment. I've known Sharon for a long time, and I know her background of, she's going to be a big help to this
Thank
this
you.
town on that department. 'Cause she's a go-getter, and
Appreciate it. Thank
we
you,
need
Bob.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, I'm only in week 3, but so far so good.
I was involved in the last restoration of the pavilion over at the Everett, facility, and one thing we were able to do is bring in the sheriff's department. We had people come in and help us do
Yes.
painting, we had to replace all the poles, we had a lot of work we had to do over there, so when you get to a point where you've got some funds and you need to get some work done, we can reach out to the Bristol County Sheriff's Office and see if we can get people over there to help, get some of the work done you want to get done.
Absolutely.
That kitchen that we put in there was donated, we just threw it in there. It was better than what you had. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
Any kind of repairs that can be done, we
Yeah.
might be able to help you with.
Yeah, there's some structural repairs to the pavilion, particularly the kitchen, that, need to be addressed. So, yeah, so it's on the agenda.
Good.
That's our goal.
All right, any other questions? Well, congratulations and welcome on board.
Thank you. Good to meet you all.
Forward to working with you. Okay. Under new business, we have the building inspector, building commissioner. Aren't you called building commissioner, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Regarding the online permitting. Mr. Carmichael?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, good evening. So I'm here to just give you an update on the permitage, and then...
It's online, it's up and running, huh?
So we've been up and running for 2 weeks now, 2 weeks and 2 days. So I'll give you a quick rundown of it. You can see it up here on the board as it comes up. This allows people to apply at home, and then also allows them to apply in the kiosks that we have set up here in the town hall. It allows concurrent review through all the departments. So this is basically the home page for the administrative side. The applicant on the login will have a different home page. But you can see along the top here are our search tasks, because after a few months I'm going to have more than 5 pages. I'll have 100 or so. So these are all the open permits that are open and pending right now that haven't been issued. You can see the status bar right here, where it stands. A lot of these just came in this afternoon. I thought I'd go through with how I'm going to process them and how it is effective. So this one right here is brand new. It's come in, so I'm going to sign it to the building commissioner. Myself, here. I can assign this to, if it was a plumbing, I'd assign it to the plumbing inspector or whatnot. You can see that I've assigned it. Here I'm going to go in and I can look at it over here with this eyeball, this feature. This is a little more difficult. So on the right-hand side is how we're going to process the application, and on the left-hand side you can still see I have the home screen opened up. You can come down and see the application below it. Sorry, it's a little different on the tablet than it is. So below it, you'll see the applications based on the state application. Still, the applicant details, the site is here, the applicant details, the owner information. You can see that in section 5, what this person's looking to do, he's looking to do some exterior trim and siding repairs down here at the bottom. I'm fine with that. It doesn't really need to be reviewed by a lot of people. I can see what the fee he's assessing it at down here, and I can ensure that I can see his estimated value. So now I can come up in here and start processing this. But again, a little different on the tablet. My apologies. So this has a lot of great features. I can send it out to the treasurer. I can send it out to the assessor and get sign-offs from it.
Any other departments like the Board of Health or?
I can get everybody to look at it simultaneously. That's what's so nice about this. So I can assess a fee to this right now, and it's all based on what he's estimated his value at. So I can assess a fee right here. And I can come down. What's nice about this is once I submit the fee, it sends them an email automatically. Tells them that the fee is ready. I can go in and then take the fee online. So they don't have to come into everything can be submitted online through this permitting system, which is nice. Here, these are the paper clips. This tells me that they can upload the plans or their initial affidavits of construction. This is an authorization letter because it's a condo association. So what's nice about this is that I can send it off to numerous departments. You can see here, well, I can send it to the assessor, the treasurer, fire department, board of health. Everybody can review this at the same time. They can then come up here and put a note in the system that would be private between the department heads. With this application, I can send a check back to the applicant. In this case, I'm just going to ask him to please submit his fee. And it's going to send him a chat, and it's going to log it in. So this eliminates the, I didn't know about that, I didn't see that. There's a time and there's a date stamp. You can see who sent it. All the departments will be able to use this and see who's in and who's out, and they know exactly where it stands up to the second. So as long as they have an internet access, this permit will be up and going. They can see. So if my electrical and plumbing inspectors go out, they log their inspections in, I know I can go out and do a rough or a final inspection up to the second. And then the health or the fire department can come in after that. So it's up to the minute.
Amazing, but in the past, anyone who applied for a permit never knew at what stage it was going or didn't know who.
No, it was painful.
And down to look at it or.
They'd have to come in and walk it 20 feet down the aisle, and it was horrible. So now they just submit it once online, and I send it out to everybody. Concurrent review. It expedites it, makes it easier for everybody. So it's come a long way. These are the task bars over here. Dashboard tells me how many permits are coming in, what the sign-offs stand for. I can come down a little further. I can see my inspectors, what the activity is. I can come down over here, and Mr. Puelo can pull up his monthly reports and how much is coming in. So it's incredible. It really is. This is the third version of this permit system. I've worked on the first two in other towns, so it's come a long way. And everybody, I'm hearing a lot of rave compliments about it, so I think we're very happy with it, especially the treasurer, because she can see what's coming in right away or not. And so
The
it's-
old taxes or anything like that.
Absolutely.
and
Yep.
It flags it, right?
it flags it automatically. So you can see here that, I don't want to stay too long. I know we have a busy agenda, so I've already have a couple flags over here. So I've got a disapproval, and I've got a chat that came in that needs to be responded to. So so Jimmy will come in the morning and attend to that.
Okay.
So it's nice, it's quick, and it's current. Any questions on the?
I imagine it saves a lot of time, right?
Saves a tremendous amount of time. I can process 20 permit applications in about an hour, where that would have taken me 8 hours before.
Wow.
So, and it's just as fast with the other departments that are working with it. So currently, the building department is up. We're 100% paperless at this point. We have been for a couple of weeks. As of next week, they're going to start with the health department. They're going to walk them through. They'll do a trial period for a week or so, and then they'll go online. And then we're hoping to bring the fire department online next month. So all the same system, all the same sign-ins, same concurrent review between departments. So all the permitting throughout the town will be on this, hopefully. It is buildable. Board of Selectmen can get on this, issue their permits, planning, conservation. A good, the town of Easton has the same system but an older version, and every department is on it. So they've rolled it out completely, and they've done a very nice job with it, and they're very happy with Permitize. So
Along with the ease of applying now, because, you know, one of the things that we all know is when a Saturday somebody wants to put a new window in, and in the past it was tough to get in here, get the application, pay the fee, get the permit, have someone come out and inspect it. This will take away a lot of that, and I'm curious to see, I'm going to be curious to see how much the revenues from permitting increases this year based on the program.
I've already seen an increase, sir, in the last 2 weeks because we've made it so easy. People don't have to come in. Everybody's happy. Everybody's familiar with it. Out of the 360 towns within the Commonwealth, I'd say more than half, I'd say about 70% are online right now, and the other half are looking to get on. So it's very busy right now.
Questions? Mike?
How's the feedback from the community been so far? Everyone easy to use on their end as well?
I have people come in and they go through an application within 5 minutes, and it's no problem because they're computer literate, and I have other guys that are there for 2 hours pounding their head, and those are the guys that I'm having come in, and I'll sit down with them. Right? That's why I have a kiosk at the counter, and we have 2 in front of the health department. We have another one set up right in front of the fire department so that the clerical assistants can help them and guide them right through it, so there are no problems.
Right.
We can talk them off the ledge. Absolutely.
Us old guys don't like this, no?
If I'm teaching Ray Walker how to get online and issue his permits, then we're
There you
good to
go.
go. All right?
There you go.
great.
Anything else? You know, one thing that, you know, obviously is going to be very exciting is the fact that we have file cabinets in this building in every inch of it, upstairs, downstairs, in the hallways, and just being able to electronically store this information. It's backed up somewhere, I assume?
So from this point on, as of February 5th, everything will be digital, and we're going to store it on the cloud, and we'll pay an annual fee to have that information stored. If we so choose, we could have the existing documents scanned and put on, and they'll host those as well, and we'll be able to search. So we'll have a public portal where the public can go in and access privileged information will be excluded, like blueprints and such not, but people will be able to pull it up online. It'll be quite a tool. At some point in the near future, we'll be able to go on a GIS map, click on it, and you'll be able to get up everything: fire, building, health, dog licenses, building certificates, so on and so forth. Special permits from the planning
Very
board,
good.
order conditions from the conservation department, all accessible at the click of a button. So we're some of us are screaming and kicking, but Norton has arrived in the 21st century.
Imagine that. If maybe like 2 or 3 months, you can come back and give us an update, it would be...
I'm more than happy to, sir.
Love to hear what you guys are doing.
Absolutely.
Very
More than happy
exciting,
to.
and it sounds like we're finally at a point, we've been talking about this for years, where we're now at a point where we can get some of this information, it's very important information, processed in a timely fashion. I can remember myself years ago building a house, and having to
painful.
chase-
It
chase
can be.
people everywhere to get, get an answer from anybody, so.
No, and they have the ability to chat with me online at any time, and I can give them instant answers, so, no problem,
Anything else? Thanks for that
no
update.
problem. We're gonna go right into the stretch code?
Let's go
All
into
right.
stretch.
So the town manager, Mr. Eunice, has asked me to speak on the stretch code. So the warrant, this is the draft warrant. Article 16.
Yep.
To see if the town will vote to amend the general bylaws by inserting a new bylaw entitled Stretch Energy Code for the purpose of regulating the design and construction of new buildings for the effective use of energy pursuant to Appendix 115AA of the Massachusetts Building Code, which is 780 CMR, as it may be amended from time to time. The Stretch Energy Code includes amendments for modifications thereto, regulating the design and construction of buildings for the effective use of energy set forth below, or take any other action relative thereto. So that's the
Last
warrant.
step, in order for us to become tagged in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts as a green community. This is the last step we have to take to make that happen. Is that correct?
This is the item number 5 on criteria. Yes, we've adopted some of the renewable energy sources, and we've done the hybrid cars. So yes, we've met some of those. But you can see that, I'm going to pull up a map in a second here. There's out of the 360 communities within the Commonwealth, you're going to see that.
172 right now that are green communities.
Right, this one's saying 240, but that was as of December 2018, only a couple months ago, and I know several have since gone on in this. So 80% of the population, 66% of the communities within the Commonwealth are now stretch code communities. When this program came out 11 years or so ago in 2008, the disparity between the building and the stretch codes was quite significant. It would have been about a 20% difference in cost savings. Now the building codes have come up and are a lot more stringent. It's almost equivalent to what they're requiring. So this is we're literally getting in at the 12th hour, and this will allow us to receive grant money from the state.
I think it's important to stress that the stretch code that we're adopting in this town meeting is almost the same as what the state regulations are now too, right?
So basically, the only difference is I'm working on a prescriptive-based code enforcement at this point in time, which means R49 in the ceilings, R20 in the walls, R30 in the floors. From this point forward, if we adopt it, you're going to have to get a performance-based calculation from a HERS rater. So they still have to get a blower-door test now to do air changes. Now they just have to hire the HERS rater at the beginning of the process, and he designs the building based on performance criteria. And you can do trade-offs for renewable energy, for solar panels and windmills and whatnot. So if you want to put more of a glass wall on this side, you can put more energy savings somewhere else in the building. So it's a lot more effective.
I would assume we're going to be talking about a new council on aging, community building, and town hall in a while. But being a green community, my understanding is that may offer us some initiatives that we might not get as a non-participant.
Absolutely, and then each residence, as they sign up, they'll have an Energy Star rating, and they'll have rebates through the utilities as well. So yes, absolutely. So yes, there'll be about a 1.5% to 2% increase in the cost of initial construction, but then they'll save exponentially over the next 30 years of the life of their mortgage. It'll pay back exponentially, like I said. So the cost savings are significant.
Yeah, no doubt. Anyone have any questions?
No, I just happen to have a little knowledge only because one of my son-in-laws actually has a company that does the Hertz ratings, and a lot of times his charge to the homeowner or the contractor, they usually get his fee plus some back just in rebates.
In rebates alone, never mind the size of an average house, 2,500 to 3,000 square feet. With these energy costs and these new additions, you're seeing, it would take 2 or 3 tanks of oil to heat that building. Now it would only take 1.
Wow.
So they're saving within instantly. So then, again, over the life of the loan of the house or the year, it's exponentially savings. So it's incredible.
Plus it's saving energy, too.
That's what it's all about.
Anyone else? Well, thank you for the updates. We
Absolutely,
appreciate it.
my pleasure.
Look forward to seeing you again, maybe, like I said, maybe 2 or 3 months.
I'll give you an update whenever you request it, sir.
That sounds great.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay. So we got the stretch code. Well, we have a presentation by the Building Committee at Town Hall, Community Center. Who's coming up? Evening.
Good evening, how are you? My name is Dinah O'Brien, and I am here with Bob Medeiros and Mark Grisham. We are currently representing your Municipal Building Committee. And we're here to report this evening on a project, I looked back in my notes, that we actually started in January of 2018. So we have done our complete due diligence, working towards a new community center, council on aging, and a new town hall. During that process, a brief overview, we have interviewed architectural firms and been happy to welcome on board Joel Bergman of BHA for the Council on Aging, and Michael Viviaris, and I always butcher this, Anthea Maniotis from DVBM, working on the Town Hall project. They have worked extremely well together to put 2 quite disparate buildings together in a very compatible setting and environment that we feel will work best for the community. We have conducted an extensive land search for both projects. Each project went through probably 4 or 5 site locations that the committee reviewed, and we have settled on a site that we will be recommending to you this evening, which is the Elm Street property at 47 Elm Street for a combined facility. The building committee did see the drawings, which you will see this evening at its last meeting, and we have voted to bring these forward to the Board of Selectmen this evening in anticipation of the May town meeting. The architects will do a presentation, and then after they have concluded, we will be happy to take questions and answer questions and have a discussion and decide how we best move forward to bring the town of Norton the buildings that it deserves.
Great. Well, first and foremost, I want to congratulate the committee for making it happen in roughly 13 months, because, government doesn't work fast. It never has. One of the biggest frustrations I have is things don't get done fast enough. You guys have accomplished something in a very short period of time that usually takes a lot longer. So congratulations, and job well done on that.
Well, thank you. I will say that I have worked with several building communities in various municipalities, and this is the best one that I've worked with. Excellent and exemplary. Thank you. So,
Look forward to the presentation. So,
who would you like to hear from first?
Whoever's ready.
Okay, DVBM with the town
No
hall
arguing,
side.
no fighting back there. We're going to do it. Thank you.
Well, again, I'm Michael Viveris.
You can sit right there if you want. Michael?
Yeah, and joining me is Anthea, and it's really our pleasure to be able to present to you tonight. It's been a true pleasure to work with this committee on this very important project to the town of Norton. This is just a few images of the Elm Street site. Obviously, it has an existing historic mill on the site. The mill is in quite terrible condition and is really far beyond any sort of restorable or usable condition. We think it's quite a nice site. It has the mill ponds behind it, and creates quite a lovely setting for both the town hall and the senior center.
Michael, if I could interrupt for 1 second, just
You
so
bet.
everybody at home understands why we're looking at this site.
Yes.
Reed and Barton facility, or the Eureka, whichever you want to call it, facility was abandoned about 2 years ago. And the town was put in a position where the banks were suggesting that, or the bankruptcy courts were suggesting the town take the property. And we have what we call a spackle landfill in Norton, and anyone who's lived in Norton knows that it was a very contaminated Texas Instrument facility that we inherited. We're very cautious about accepting anything that's contaminated. So we suggested we were not going to do that. So we held off on actually taking the property. DEP and EPA stepped forward and said, we're going to invest some money and do some cleaning, and they're in there now doing exactly that process. So it's important for people to understand that once this project is completed and the cleanup is done, the town will accept the property as a gift, but it has strings attached, and one of the strings is we cannot sell it. So as beautiful as a spot as it's going to be, it seems logical that these buildings will be the first thing we would consider putting on them. It's got plenty of parking. It will have plenty of parking. As you say, and you started to talk about, has a beautiful view, has a brand new dam behind it, and once the contamination's out of the ground, and once we're able to get in there and process the site, it's going to be a very, very pretty location. So I just wanted to give people some history on the property so they understand why. I know you looked at other properties, why this one seems to be the most suitable for the project.
And it's important to note as well, the site is actually, the existing site, the mill site, is really in three components. There's where the mill building is itself to the right of Elm Street. You can see directly across on the left is a parking lot that is also part of the project site. And just on the street below, there's also a section of land that likely wouldn't be included as part of this project. So we began with the first step in designing a building is really to understand what the programmatic requirements are.
Mm-hmm.
So we began with a programming exercise whereby we met with every town department, looked at what existing facilities they have, talked about what their needs are, what their long-term staffing might be, and through that process came up with a program for each department in a total building size. And so the new town hall at the program size at the moment is, you can see that we're proposing 24,280 square feet. That is the existing town hall, including some storage space in the basement, just to give you some guidance, is about 14,800 square feet. But of course, you have a very small council chambers. You have a number of spaces that are really not adequate to serve the town hall. After coming up with the program, the next step is really to begin to do sort of plan diagrams, and so. That's what you're seeing here. All the way to the left, you're seeing the first floor. In the middle drawing, you're seeing the second floor plan. And I can walk you through these one by one. I think that what you're going to see, this is a little small, so it's hard to see. But on the first floor, there would be, all the way to the left in blue would be the Board of Selectmen space, and there's a conference room and other spaces related to that. And I'm actually going to, because I'm having a hard time seeing that from here.
Can I have a copy of this? Thank you.
Yeah, so on the first floor would be the spaces that we think probably see the most foot traffic. That's ideally what we want to do. We're not always successful in doing that, as we try to balance sort of having a two-story building. But you can see that on the first floor, we've located the town clerk, the treasurer and tax collector. We've got the tax assessor as well on the first floor, veteran services, again, the Board of Selectmen, the assessor, and then a small and large conference space. On the second floor, we've located the building and planning departments. Perhaps ideally they would be on the first floor, but again, we need to sort of balance. We want to try to create a balanced building. That's the most efficient way to do it. We've also located on the second floor the town manager, accountant, and Board of Health, Parks and Recreation. conservation, and there's also a small and medium conference room for all of town's staff to share. Mhm. Information technology is also on this floor. Just going to kind of move to the, so one reason I presented the floor plans first in the program is because we did look at numerous sites and looked at how the program could be accommodated on various sites. At the end of the day, after studying, it was determined that this was likely the best site, and so, you're seeing a layout here of, on the right, you're seeing Town Hall in orange, and to the left, you're seeing the proposed senior center. You're seeing sort of a thin portion in between the two, and that would be a roofed connector that would allow you to go from one to the other. You'd be outside, but somewhat out of the rain and snow. From a site perspective, as you come up Elm Street, you turn right into the site. There would be a drop-off zone in the radius circle, and then you could drive through. And the general idea is that the parking on the lower part of the plan would be for Town Hall, and all the way up to the left, as you go, to the left of the senior center, that would ideally be the parking for the senior center. Now, one of the benefits of having both of these together is that the parking can be shared, and I think overall it requires less parking when we bring two facilities together and they can share. One of the other benefits with bringing the two facilities onto one site is we can create one septic system that can serve all of them. And so I think that, we think that there's a number of cost benefits to having both programs on one site. And also, just from the perspective of, we truly think this is going to be a lovely site, and to have the mill pond behind, it should be where we can create, some outdoor space and place for staff, place for the community. There's even enough above, on the other side of the mill pond is a significant portion of land that's all part of this, that over time perhaps could be developed into walking trails and other things that we haven't exactly studied, but we really could see that as being part of really a wonderful site for the town.
I have one fast question. Maybe more toward the committee itself. We don't have town storage in that area, and I know you're talking about a Title V system, pretty much where I think the system is now for the site. Have you had any consideration about trying to loop the system around and try to pick up town storage? Has that been discussed at all?
No, this is only a system for the site. We have not had that discussion.
But we did look at possibly using a forced sewer main that could go up to, forgive me, I forget the name of the road, up to the
Reservoir.
Reservoir, yes. And so we did look at that, having a forced sewer main go that distance. We've determined that we think this is going to be the more cost-effective approach.
Okay. I guess I'm going to suggest to the Water Sewer Commission that we need to look at it, because when we put in the Grove Sewer treatment plant, it goes down Clapp Street and goes away down Clapp. We never finished the extension down to Elm and back up to Main Street.
Yep.
And, this may be the opportunity for us to, instead of throwing the dollars into building a Title V system, maybe we could work with, we don't have to pay for the whole thing.
Yep.
But maybe we can work with the commissioners to see if we can get that final loop through, so that maybe we can finally make that connection we've been trying to do for years.
Yeah.
So that's something we can look into.
Absolutely, yeah. Initially, that is actually what we were proposing, and that as we were putting all the costs together, that was costing substantially more than having the on-site system. And so in order to get back within what we thought was a somewhat a better budget, I guess, we've gone to that.
Sure.
We're presenting this option.
Okay.
Can I ask any other questions?
Any questions
regarding the site?
so far?
Good.
I do have one.
Oh,
If, let's say, Bob Medeiros, with all of his money back there, wanted to have a room named after him, have we figured out the cost? Is there a way we can figure out what the cost would be per room? And the reason I'm bringing this up is I've heard some rumbling about people saying, I might donate to the cause, I might donate to the project if I'm able to name, the Bob Maderas room, whatever. I'm picking on Bob because he's here, but point of the matter is there are people out there that want to make some donations. If we had a cost number as to what it would, maybe we'd say, well, how much do you want to donate? Well, this room you could buy, or that room, just to help defray some of the costs. I
No,
know
that
we
is
have-
that is so possible, yeah.
Yeah, so that's something you can give us?
We could certainly help you with that, yeah.
Okay, because we've already had a anonymous $1.5 million donation toward these buildings
Okay.
that we're working on right now. And one of the criteria is they want something named after the person, so they want to stay anonymous at this point. But I think it's something we should be looking into. That's what gave us the idea.
Yeah.
If this person's willing to spend a few dollars, maybe somebody
I
else.
think
will.
any number of opportunities,
Yeah.
naming opportunities for sure.
Yeah, so if you could give us maybe, some of the meeting rooms, or some of the other rooms, maybe that would be
Sure.
Probably the right type of facility to name them after. I just think it's something we should look into.
Yeah. I could even imagine there would be exterior improvements that would present naming opportunities. As you think about possibly creating outdoor space overlooking the pond, you could,
Yeah.
there really could be some lovely opportunities for
Yeah.
people.
Okay, thank you.
So the next question is, well, what does that all look like? And so what you're seeing here is really kind of a primary image. The idea is to create a building that is contextual to Norton, obviously, but also a modern building that meets the contemporary energy codes. And we're proposing a building in brick and mostly in brick. And you can see it would contain sort of traditional dormers and a cupola as well on the top. Entrance is you could. Most folks are going to be parking to the right, just off the page, coming across Elm Street, walking along, on the sidewalk, and into. It's hard for me to point with this kind of setting, but you could see where the main entrance is.
So that's down near Cross and Elm. This would be,
That's correct.
Cross would
Where
be
the-
to the right of this?
Yeah, you could just see. Yeah, Cross Street is just sort of off the page a little bit to the right.
What's on the third floor up there? Is there anything up there?
I'm sorry.
What's on the third floor?
The third floor would be largely mechanical. It could be it is a large space. Just because of having a traditional roof pitch.
Yeah.
But at this point, we're not proposing anything other than mechanical space.
We don't want flat roofs.
What's that?
We don't have very good luck with flat roofs around here. so-
Okay, yeah.
Pitch roof is the best way to go.
We've had that comment a few times, so, yeah. So, and then just to the left of the rendering, you can see the connector over to the senior center. And so this is just a little up close, so you can see the entry a little bit better. And then this next view is from looking up Elm Street, from the corner of Cross and Elm Streets. There is quite a bit of grade change that occurs from Cross Street up the site. And so to the right, you're seeing a number of retaining walls that would need to be installed in order to get the building situated where we can have the senior center and town hall essentially be at one level, and also be able to have you come, without a lot of grade change from the primary parking lot across the street and into the building.
I think what kind of makes this location unique too is the three different roads coming into it. You've got Cross, you've got Elm, you've got Reservoir, you've got Main Street. I mean, everything,
Yeah.
not like it's just one way in, one way out. There's various ways to get in and out of there.
And I think what's nice, too, is you come up from Main Street, not too far, and you're going to be able to look up the street, I think, and largely see this before, so you're coming from the center of the village, and as you turn up Elm Street and you look up, I think this is going to be, you don't have to go very far before this is going to be noticeable. And, of course, you've got the small falls off to the right, and so, again, this is really, could be quite a lovely setting for a town hall. Just an overview, again, parking at the bottom of the page, senior center to the left. You can see the crosswalk across Elm Street and the entrance into the building. And then the next issue of cost is cost. And so our cost consultant has worked with us to come up with an estimate of the cost of construction. And then beyond that, we've also come up with a total project budget. So we've got hard costs of construction as well as, the various soft costs that it takes to build the building. And my eyes are failing me, and I can't read that number, so Anthony is going to help me a little bit. So total hard and soft costs right now are projected to be $18.2 million. And that includes a number of contingencies and also includes escalation, assuming a January 2021 construction start. We're carrying escalation at okay, with me just a minute. Is it 4%? Okay, I'm trying to. We're carrying no, hang on just a minute. 7% to start.
That's 7 to the start.
Yeah, we're carrying 7% to the start of 7% escalation. Yeah, cost per year. It was, it's based on 4% inflation per year.
And is this, so the 18 million, is that the total for both the senior center, that's just the town hall?
So what that is, and I'm going to go forward here, just to the site, to this here. This is a diagram of the site, and so the senior center, what you see in blue is the senior center building and site work in the parking lot. And so essentially what we've tried to do under the town hall project is to provide all of the site work, all of the septic system, basic utilities into the site, and to carry all of that as part of the town hall site. And as part of that, to have a pad site ready for the construction of the senior center.
So this pretty much takes care of the whole project with the exception of building the actual senior center itself.
And some of the site work related directly to the senior center, that's correct.
Okay. Any questions?
And I can go over the various costs if you'd like, but we can also just provide a copy of this to all of you.
Yeah, I think it's, at this point, it's just, giving us the total dollars is what we're looking at anyway.
Yeah.
I do have to ask, and we talked about, green communities earlier, and I'm not sure you guys can answer this question, but I'll ask it anyway. If and when we do become a green community, are there any incentives or programs out there that we might be able to take advantage of through grants or anything like that to help defray some of the cost of these projects?
Yeah. You could look at solar panels, a number of things.
Well, one thing that comes to mind when I'm looking at the parking lot is I went by the MBTA station in Norwood yesterday and saw the new panels they have in their parking lot generating electricity, and obviously if we're building something new today, we probably want to take a look at something like that too.
That would be lovely.
I heard one of the town employees complaining today out back that they wished we had panels out there because they're scraping their vehicles off. So, but there are programs out there, I assume, that we can hopefully take advantage of. Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
Should I pass it to Joel?
Talk about the
Yeah, here you go, Joel.
council on aging or the community building or whatever we're calling it.
Do you want to sit here, Joel?
So, before the slides come up, I just want to walk you through a few boards that don't project too well. And the reason that I want to walk these through with you is the building inspector mentioned the average house size in Norton, 2,500 to 3,000 square foot. The existing senior center is 1,800 square feet. We can't really figure out what needs to be in the new senior center by looking at what you have today. So the committee understood that, and before when they hired us, we were hired to do a needs assessment, a demographic analysis, and a survey. The needs assessment is interesting. If you look at the age distribution in the town, it's difficult to see, but there are over 4,000 seniors. There are 5,900 citizens that are 55 and older. Seniors are 60 and over, but there's a 25% plus of the population is in the age group of 55 and over. What this shows is another interesting statistic. The growth of your population over the last 10 years, the senior population has grown by 85%. And what these charts are showing is that it's very similar to other communities in Massachusetts. The younger population is somewhat less than national average. The older population is older than average. But what the demographic chart showing you is that if you look at the age groups, at 45 to 54-year age group, and the children of the boomers is quite a large population. You don't want to just look at this senior center for today's seniors. The growth of the seniors is going to level out. It's not going to go down. So we really came to the conclusion as a committee and as an architect that we should be looking at a 50-year life cycle for this senior center. Service the boomers, service the millennials, and the subsequent generations. You know this, a lot of people almost 97% of the folks in Norton own their houses, and of that, 90% have no desire to leave. So you have a lot of seniors in town, you have a lot of people that own their houses, and they want to age in place. So one of the basic things that we're learning from that is that the senior center needs to have programs and spaces in it that can help folks to age in place. Because not only is it a benefit for them, it's a benefit for the community. Healthy seniors, less stress on your EMT services, less stress on your properties, less stress on your neighborhoods. So this chart here just says, of the population that would use a senior center, only 40% are using it today. So you say, why is that? You could typically have a higher usage rate. And the main obstacles that people quote are the programs are oversubscribed because there's not enough space in the building to house programs, and there's a lack of parking. That's the major. So you have no parking, the spaces are too small. The next question that we dug into on the demographic analysis I was surprising, so I wanted to show you this. Health and wellness and fitness were the two highest ranked programs. Third was social activity, which is sort of common. People aren't just using it for services. There's a social aspect to the program. And then health insurance counseling is right here. Anybody who's tried to apply for Medicare or set up Social Security knows that can be difficult. And what I'm getting at is that the senior centers aren't just for fun and games. It's not knitting, it's not bridge, it's not bingo. They're providing a service. They're providing a service in wellness. They're providing a service in medical insurance, providing insurance facilities for lawyers, doctors, accountants, wills to come in and help folks age in Norton. People were talking about how important are the existing, first they said what they wanted, and then we asked them how important is each facility component that we were thinking about in the building. And what's interesting here is one came up, the food pantry. The food pantry is not really a part of the senior center, although it's an important component to town. And if you look at the demographics of not only Norton, but of many communities, that senior citizen single, widow, female, very frequently below poverty level. The food pantry is a very beneficial service in these communities, and tying it into a senior center suggested by the community. Outdoor walking tracks, that's one of the attraction to this site. That was a very highly rated aspect of the program. Okay, so the other things that we asked in the surveys were gender. I only show this because we're really trying to get the men into the senior center. 80% of the respondents were female. That's a pretty typical issue. So again, in the programming phase, we really said, what can we do to change that dynamic?
These guys have to figure out how to live longer to begin with.
Okay.
That's number one.
That's why we have health and fitness as #1 program in the building. And then, what's your age group range? I don't want to take your whole evening here. This last one. We make sort of a really foundation of our senior centers, setting them up for volunteering. So the kitchen space can be used by any citizen. You don't have to be a professional chef. There's spaces for volunteers to be trained. There's spaces for volunteers to work out of. The health of your building is going to be the success of the volunteer group. And there's a strong desire to help. Oddly enough, the highest rated program that folks wanted to volunteer on was the food pantry. So it gave us a strong idea about where we wanted to go with this. Are you going to be able to click? Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. So
I read an article recently that by the year 2035 in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, 21% of the population will be seniors. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what, even in the, as far as the state goes, what's going to happen, in the very near future. So population's growing, the boomers are here now, we're all here. So it's a question of having enough space to take care of them. I'm personally embarrassed by what we have now. It just doesn't work. There's no possible way it's ever going to work. So we have to figure out a better way. One of the facets we tried to put into this was hopefully as a community facility would be the ability to have meetings there that, maybe we couldn't have somewhere else.
absolutely.
And, maybe have polls there so people can vote. But most importantly, if we have an emergency in the town of Norton right now, we have no place to send people. If they lose their power, and they're by themselves, they have no place to go unless they open a school in Attleboro, and we're fortunate enough to get notified in advance. But again, you have no power, you have no way of communicating. How do we tell these people where to go?
Right.
They don't know where to go. If we have a building like this where it has backup generators, it has a kitchen, has the ability to maybe take care of a certain amount of people, this is something that we've been looking for.
So
for a long
we've
time.
looked into that. The state will certify it. We have to provide one shower as a minimum,
Yep.
and then it can be a shelter. And the advantage, as you said, the people go to the Attleboro High School. Well, schools start up sooner than maybe the power outages get resolved. So their trend is to try to get the shelter out of the schools and into places like senior centers. Okay, so I don't intend that you see what these numbers are, but you can see the gray or the purple line is your existing space, and there are a lot of numbers in the new space. Even though we've worked hard with the committee to right size this building to make it affordable, there's a lot of spaces in that building. I'll walk you through those, but this is just a close-up. The area that's highlighted refers back to what Michael said. That's the component, that's the senior center building as part of the larger site context that here you have the town hall, here you have the senior center, and you can see folks wanted walking tracks. Well, that's what's so beautiful about this site. You can make a walking zone around the pond, you can make it around the site. It's a very natural setting, and it ties the natural pond very nicely into the senior center. Senior center has its own parking. It'd clearly be overflow parking for the town hall, but you want to be able to know that you can come to the senior center, park close to it, not have to cross Elm Street to get to the senior center. And I think it's a very symbiotic relationship. So you hit the nail on the head. The building's designed to be not only a senior center, not only the food pantry, but a shelter. And the heart of the building is this place in the middle, which is your multipurpose room. The senior centers really run on their stomachs. A good kitchen, a good flexible meal space solves a number of issues, not only for Meals on Wheels, not only for meals that you may have here, but also as a social event, the kitchen size so that it's a teaching kitchen. There isn't anything in this building that's a support space. Even the kitchen is a program space. So everything has 2 or 3 functions to it. You enter the building here where administrative staff can see who you are. You enter, there's a multipurpose room in the middle, divisible into 2. The program spaces are to your left, on the left. And I mentioned, I mentioned that we really worked hard as a group to figure out what brings the men into the building, and we created an activity space, has ubiquitous pool table, card games, activities, but those are extremely popular. Franklin has a phenomenal program with their men in this kind of a space. Next to it is a crafts room. That crafts room is designed not only for today's seniors, but it's designed to be a maker space, because the next generation of seniors is going to be looking at three-dimensional technology, digital technology, and things that aren't really part of the lexicon for today's seniors. We have the wellness program, we have program space, and then at the end, that orange room is the pantry. The pantry is part of the senior center, but some folks are sensitive about going to the pantry, so you can actually get to the pantry with some confidence, with some confidence knowing you can get in, but not everybody is going to see who's getting food if that happens to be an issue. And then on the right side is the bathrooms, the shower for it to be a shelter space, and on the back, on the top, is the outdoor space. Very important, opens out to the pond. Okay, so we have a construction cost of $5.8 million. It's a 10,000 square foot senior center, 1,000 square foot food pantry, so 11,000 square foot total project. The total project cost, when you add all of the furniture, audio-visual, any other cost that goes into the senior center building, it's an approximately $7.3 to $7.5 million project. And it's not a brick building. As I mentioned, we worked really hard to right-size this. Just backing up, you have 20,000 folks in Norton. You have 4,000 seniors today. The rule of thumb is 4 to 5 square foot per senior in larger towns. That would make you a bigger building. The committee worked hard to find the sweet spot that felt was an affordable point, a very flexible building. We were able to right-size this building at that 11,000 square foot size. And one thing we did to keep it affordable is not to use brick, but to design it as a more residential scaled building. It's a one-story building. It's got pitched roofs. It has synthetic wood siding that looks like siding, and then it connects through to the senior center. The two projects work together. The goal is to start construction, and that's how the cost estimates are set, on January of 2021. It doesn't mean that you have a lot of time to think about the project, because the project needs to go, the site needs to be going through a variance, a use variance, and then we need to go through the next phases of design. The projects need to be pre-qualified because they're over $10 million, so there's a 3-month period to take care of that. So we're looking at the project would start, if it were approved, when the fiscal year starts in July, and everything would line up to be ready to go January 1. That means the project's bid, the contractor's ready to start, and that's a projected time for when the site would be cleaned. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions? So, when we talk about a community building or a COA building, I guess one of my visions would be it goes beyond that too, because During the daytime, obviously, the seniors will be using it, but at nighttime, that room, that center room could be used for other purposes. Is that correct?
Absolutely, and that's the intent of that. And you can get to that room, and the restrooms, the other side of the building could literally be closed off, so.
So it's open
Controlling
beyond the hours at the.
Absolutely, and that's why it has, in the budget, has audio visual for that room, so we can have broadcast-ready services if you want to have meetings in that, Conservation Commission, whatever. That's included in the budget to make that a highly usable room.
How big is that room itself?
1,600 square feet.
1,600 square feet? Questions? Come on up, yep. You have to use the mic, though. Please identify yourself, just for the record.
Well, I just wanted to comment.
I need the name first, so we can.
Oh, Paul Wanamaker.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Paul.
I live on Taunton Avenue. It sounds like everybody's kind of struggling as to what to call this building a little bit. Would it be helpful just to start thinking of it as a community center? Instead of calling a senior center, if you think about the senior center right now, it actually is acting as a community center because there's more than what you would typically associate with a senior center going on there. And that might help by just saying, yeah, this is a community center. It really is potentially serving multiple generations in the town, as you indicated, the various use of the buildings,
Yeah, and I think
rooms and such.
With the food pantry, that has another aspect to it. You know, having the ability to go in there at night, allowing the kids to have a dance there if they want to have a dance.
Yeah.
I mean, there's opportunities there as long as we can isolate sections of that building so we don't have to worry about protecting it. You know, we struggle sometimes finding a place to have town meetings.
Right.
I'm not saying that's big enough, but, you know, for voting, it might work. I don't know. We're always looking for a place to have, you know, where we can get people in and out fast and have them vote. Again, we don't have an emergency shelter either. And that's what this is all about in my mind, is coming up with a place where people can vote. They know where to go if they're in trouble. And right now, we don't know where to go. If the power goes out, we're done. You know, we can't get there's no TV, there's nothing going on. We don't have our own radio station. There's nothing for us to know. So if we have a building like this, a community center, where people know they can, if they're in trouble, they need to be warm, they can know they can go there and there'll be someone there to help them.
Applying that name to it, I think it would help people in the town in their perception of what this is. Because I think, to some extent, a senior center, there's a certain stereotype that goes along with that. Well, that's just where people play bingo, and there's much more to it than that. There's a lot of activity goes on. And if it was known as a community center, I think others who are not seniors would see, well, there's something in it for them as well, that this building be put up. And otherwise, is it a senior center? Is it a community center? So I'm just suggesting,
I agree.
Let's just start calling it a community center at this stage, and then people would understand exactly what it is that you're all talking about. So that would be
Good point.
my comment.
Thanks, Bob. Peter? I see you riding a bicycle in front of one of those pictures.
What?
Were you on a bicycle in front of one of those pictures? That might have been you.
Peter J. Wiggins, your honorary mayor, Norton, and I agree with Paul. It's time that it should be a community center for seniors and all the town of Norton's people to use, such as dances, town hall meetings, maybe a phone polls. And also, I visit the senior center a couple of times and see what goes on there, and I say hi to all the seniors. And it's time that we need a new COA, make it a community center. Thank you very much, along with the town hall.
Thank you. Thanks, Peter.
The committee concurs. We've been calling it a community center /
Have you?
COA.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we could, obviously, it is designed for the seniors, and there's no doubt that that's what it's for, but there are going to be other times when others, we want to encourage others to utilize the building, you know.
Oh, absolutely. I think
That's what it's all about.
it's in moving along with the community center theme, which the committee has been. Council on Agings in Massachusetts do not serve seniors. They serve anybody over the age of 40 who has a parent who needs help with what their parents are going to do. They do heating, they do Medicare, they do Social Security, they have grandparents raising grandchildren, they have Alzheimer's support, they have social interaction, they have, I don't know, oral histories. We're bringing the schools in and talking with the seniors and, making sure that the community is preserved. So it is a community center. It's not simply for the aging population, which we all are, which we are not doing well, but which we will do much better in a building like this. So do you have any questions for the committee? And
This time I don't. I think you guys did a wonderful job to this point.
okay, so it's
Getting us to where we are today is, it's impressive.
I know we're headed into town meeting, and will be at the pleasure of the board how that proceeds. And
And we'll,
after a
obviously,
positive vote there, then we will move towards your established town election.
Yeah, what I would ask the committee to do for us is try to get as much of this information as you can on display somewhere, either I don't think you have room in the COA, but maybe here in the town hall where if anyone has any questions, they want to look at anything, they're able to come in and look at some of the, the diagrams and some of the suggestions that are being made. That'll help us, with the town hall questions at town meeting. Any information that can be put forward now will help us in the long run.
We would love to do that, and we're also looking for individuals within each of the 5 precincts who would be willing to work with us and get the word out so that questions are asked prior to town meeting, so it doesn't get bogged down into a 4-day discussion on how to move forward. We'd
Yeah.
like to answer as many questions prior.
I'm thinking too that between now and May, we want to have another meeting, again, just to go over some of the plans and what this is all about, and offer to the public the opportunity to come forward and say, I have questions, I have concerns, or I have ideas, or whatever. I think it's important that we get as much conversation going ahead of time before we go to town meeting and have to try to answer questions, and half the time we don't have half the answers anyway.
Will you contact any of the members of the building committee? We're more than welcome to take your questions at any time, talk to any of the residents who might have a question, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah,
I'd like to see if we're able to get these elevations and onto the town website. Because
Can we get more of these?
Absolutely.
Because
That's why
I think
we made
this is very, very good,
yeah.
and it may answer some of the questions. I'm not sure if it's got the, the other sheets that go with it, maybe maybe this becomes a package of some sort.
Or it's just available online as well.
Online.
Yeah.
Again,
These are nice. Yeah.
seniors like to have stuff in their hands so
Yeah.
they can look at stuff. So I think it's important that we have the ability to hand out some of this stuff if we can do it, and get as much information out there as we can. Way too many times we're accused of suddenly, where did this come from? Why are we talking about this? We've been talking about it for 14 months now, but, they don't understand that, suddenly it comes out of somewhere, so I think it's important that we get as much of that out and online as much as we can. Beth, you want to come on up? No, you have to come up. You have to smile, too. Beth Rossi, how are you?
Hi, I'm Beth Rossi. I'm the director of the Senior Center. I just want to say the Senior Center, we're open from 9:30 to 3:30 every day, and people are more than welcome to come in and ask questions and to look around and see what we do. As mentioned before, we are a bustling human service agency in town, and the majority of the people I help in my office are actually folks who are struggling in town, and they're not just seniors. It's all people. But my door's always open, and that's the one thing that's great about the building that we're in now is that we're friendly and we're open, and if anyone had any questions, I would more than welcome to sit down and have a cup of coffee with anyone and talk about sort of what we do and what we see as our vision for the future. We are going to have an open house, and it's going to be on a Wednesday in March. I'm not sure of the date right now. It's going to be in the afternoon for anybody to come in, and we're going to have these slide presentations available. We're going to have pictures set up as well, so if people want to come in and ask questions and look at what we're doing, I will post that date so people know.
Okay.
So.
Thanks, Beth.
Thanks, Beth.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Nope.
Well, again, thank you very much. You guys have done a terrific job in a
Thank
very
you.
short period of time, and we'll keep this thing moving and see what happens. So hopefully we can satisfy everyone's concerns and answer their questions and make sure it happens, so. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you.
Great job on that brochure, by the way.
Yeah, that's, it really is.
Sarah, head custodian of Norton Middle School, has been dedicated employee of the town of Norton since August 1st, 1985, and whereas during the time, Manny has established many friendships along the way, has become part of our community, and whereas today, the town of Norton celebrates and reflects upon the countless contributions to simply act with kindness performed by head custodian Manny Texera, as well as the rapport he has developed with his student body, the participants of this athletic program, and the public. Be it resolved that the Board of Selectmen of the town of Norton does hereby proclaim Friday, February 22nd, 2019 to be Manuel Texera Day, and encourages all residents to thank Manny for his tireless service and his devotion of the children of the community, and wish him well in his retirement, given under its hand on the 12th day of February in the year of 2019 by the Board of Selectmen.
Thank you. I had the opportunity to go to his final dinner over at the Chateau, and it was snowing like crazy, but just over 50 people showed up.
That's great.
I showed up too.
Yeah, so did Peter. And I think, it's a great reflection of him, the diverse crowd that was there, and recognizing, all of his years of service to the town. So on your behalf, I wished him well, and enjoy.
I tried to make it
enjoy
Manny,
his
but weather didn't allow me. Apologize.
Well, when you're plowing, you're plowing. But I think, his retirement party was well attended and well done, and I think it was for the right reason. The guy's a great guy, so. Okay. So we have an announcement regarding, we have a piece of a property that's coming up for sale. It's a Chapter 40B property, and it's located on 5 Arrowhead Drive, probably right off of North Washington Street. The reason we're letting people know is it is an affordable unit. I'm not too sure about what the qualifications are, but I would encourage anyone who is looking for a home, being a first-time home buyer, that you would come in and get some information from Town Hall regarding this house. How this works is, once we're presented with the notification of the house, we have like 90 days to sell it. And if we don't sell it within 90 days, it can actually be sold at market value. Falls off our Chapter 40 list, becomes a fair market value home. It will be sold at a profit, and the profits do come back to the community. But again, we're losing one of our affordable houses. So if anyone out there is interested, I have some income information, but I'm not sure if it's correct. There's different categories, but a median income, family income in the area of Mansfield, Norton, is $88,600 a year. So I'm guessing that's probably where it would kind of fall. And then as you have more and more children involved, it probably becomes a bit less. But if anyone is interested, the information will be here at the Town Hall. We're asking you if you are to come in and take a look at what's being offered and see if it's something you want to become a part of or not. I believe it's a 3-bedroom house, and it's located in a very nice community. And I think it's well worth someone, if you're interested, contacting Town Hall and asking about it. And again, the house is on 5 Arrowhead Drive. So you're right off North Washington Street. Next on the agenda, we have a review and vote on the Board of Selectmen large-scale ground-mounted solar photovoltaic facility policy. At the last meeting, I asked the town manager to put together a policy regarding any new request to build new facilities in town. And the statement, the policy is that when a town department receives an application or is notified that an application will be filed for the installation of a large-scale ground-mounted solar photovoltaic facility, said department shall immediately provide written notice to the Board of Selectmen, to the town manager, and the Board of Assessors, to the Director of Assessing. For purposes of this policy statement, a large-scale ground-mounted solar photovoltaic installation is defined in Chapter 175 of the Town of Norton zoning bylaws, Section 22.1, and the definitions are as follows. A solar photovoltaic system that is structurally mounted on the ground that is not roof-mounted and has a minimum nameplate capacity of 200 kilowatt DC. So that's the policy that we'd like to adopt. What this does is, anytime someone comes before the building inspector or the planning board or any of those and wants to put a facility in town, they come to us first and explain to us what the project is and what their intent is. So we're, if nothing else, we make people aware of it, if for no other purpose. So, anyone have any questions?
No.
Seeing that, Chair, entertain a motion to vote to accept the Board of Selectmen large-scale ground-mounted solar photovoltaic facility policy.
So moved.
Second.
Second. How do you say that?
Photovoltaic.
Photo what?
Voltaic.
Voltaic?
Voltaic.
I'll have to work on that one. Photovoltaic. Okay. We have a motion, a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you. And I apologize. I try to learn how to say it.
I like your way better.
I was trying to do it, you know, I was trying to spell it out in my mind, and it just didn't work no matter how I did it.
I'll tell you.
Okay. Next, we have the vote to approve the ballot question concerning the formation of a charter commission. In order for the ballot to be, the vote to be put on the ballot, the Board of Selectmen have to approve the actual vote, and we have a copy of it here tonight. And it's 2 votes that will be addressed on the next ballot. The first question is going to be where the town clerk has notified us that a petition of election of a charter commission has been filed and signed by the number of registered voters required for access to the ballot. It is hereby moved in accordance with General Law, Chapter 43B, subsection 3-6, and the Home Rule Amendment to the Massachusetts Constitution, that the Board of Selectmen orders the following question to appear on the ballot for the 2019 annual town election. Shall a commission be elected to revise the charter of the town of Norton? Is the question. Second, the board further orders, consistent with General Law, Chapter 43B, that there shall appear on the 2019 annual town election ballot the election of 9 charter commissioners, provided, however, that the 9 persons receiving the highest number of votes for the office shall be declared elected in accordance with the law only if a majority of the votes cast upon the question of revising the charter is in the affirmative. So there's the 2 questions that will have to appear on the ballot. So just for clarity, I'm going to try to explain this. The first question is, shall a commission be elected to revise the charter in the town of Norton? It's a strict yes or no. The second part of it would be, if the vote is yes, if the town chooses to elect a charter commission, which of the 9 individuals do you want to be elected? My understanding right now, there are 14 papers that have been taken out. There's 14 possible candidates, but only the top 9 of those will be counted as being on the commission itself. So, in an effort to be clear on this, even, in my opinion, even if you vote no, you should still consider voting for the other 9 people that could possibly be or will be on the commission itself. So it's two separate questions, but you know, some of us might go in there and say, "Nah, I don't want to do this," but they have to realize that if the majority says yes, there are going to be 9 people.
Yep.
That are going to have to make those decisions for us. So, anybody have any questions or comments or anything?
No.
I think it's pretty clear, right? Could the chair entertain a motion to approve the ballot questions concerning the formation of the Charter Commission?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. Okay. You don't have any old business, the town manager's not here. Selectmen's report mail. Mr. Selva?
I do not have anything, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Mr. Bramwell, you have anything?
No.
Mr. Flaherty?
No, Mr. Chairman.
I have something I gotta find here. I don't think we were all aware of this, but I know I was made aware of it a couple of days ago. That's from the Joe and Druzy Foundation, a letter to Mr. Michael Units. Dear Mike, on behalf of the entire foundation, I'd like to congratulate you on receiving the award for Business Person of the Year 2018 from the Tri-Town Chamber of Commerce. It's clear you have earned the utmost respect from your colleagues and leaders in our community, and please accept my sincere congratulations on this great achievement. Our town manager is a recipient of this year's Business Person of the Year from the Tri-Town Chamber of Commerce. So congratulations, Mike, on that. Okay, that one we don't have to do. Okay, I think that's all I have to. Okay, on the warrants and minutes. Chair entertain a motion to approve payroll warrant PR 19-16 for the week ending February 6th, February 9th, 2019, warrant dated February 4th, 2019, in the amount of $1,313,895.68.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. Chair entertain a motion to approve warrant AP 19-33. I can't get my numbers right tonight. AP 19-33 dated February 14, 2019, in the amount of $668,882.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Chair entertain a motion to approve warrant AP 19-34 dated February 21st, 2019, in the amount of $1,161,579.98.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. Okay, we have a number of minutes, and I think I'm going to take them individually because, just in case somebody wasn't here, I want to make sure we get the votes right, so. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of January 3rd, 2019 as written.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, wait a second, I'm just making sure there were three of us here. Yeah, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Present.
That's three in favor, one present. Meeting of January 3rd, 2019 executive session.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, as written. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye. Present.
We have three in favor, one present. The minutes of January 10th, 2019 as written.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye. Present.
Opposed? Three in favor, one present. January 10th, 2019 executive session, as written. Motion? Don't,
Was I here for that?
let me show you we're here.
Nope.
So
Okay,
moved.
we don't have a second.
You don't have a quorum.
So we're going to have to do,
Oh.
make a note for us, please.
That's right.
We have to do,
That's my shoulder.
That's the executive session, because I was a late arrival to the meeting.
we have to do that January 10th, 2019. Okay, January 24th, 2019 as written.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Present.
Three in favor, one present. Meeting of February 7th, 2019 as written.
So moved.
Motion?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, we got through that one. So our next meeting will be held on March 7, 2019. We have a public hearing above ground storage of diesel fuel hearing at 7:15 p.m. that you want to be around for. And I know we didn't mention this earlier, but just for the folks that live down on the Bay Road side of town, to make you aware of it in case you're not. There's a proposal by the city of Taunton to put a gas station at the ramp on 495. So if any of you are out in that area and not familiar with that, you might want to go online and check into that. There's a very good possibility that they're going to approve putting a gas station down in that area. We will obviously send a letter of concern regarding Lake Winnicott and our aquifer to make sure it's protected, but I'm sure they'll take the necessary steps to make sure that happens. But just so people know, there is a possibility of a gas station going on Bay Road. I think that's it, right? Chair, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you. We're all set.
You.